Hey y'all, I'm Flynt.
And I'm Lena.
Welcome back to Queer Dice Rolls, the podcast where two queer, neurodivergent, and chronically ill bards try working out their pasts, identities, and problems, one conversation at a time.
Join us as we, once again, fail our deception checks and share just a little too much.
Hi Lena.
Hi, Flynt.
So we're back.
And there's no guest again.
And continuing our discussion of the Tale of the Dragon Stunners.
Very exciting.
Yes. So there's not a lot of preamble today, but we're going to get straight into the boat saga of our journey. But first,
a word from our characters. Welcome to our newest segment, Corrections, where we correct anything that we fucked up.
Or forgot.
Or forgot, that's true. So, here we go. We have the lovely Bartus, as requested, sent in many things that we did not say correctly last week, which is fantastic. So, a lot of us are going to read those corrections for you today. It's going to be very fun, all right? So I'm starting. Actually, we haven't even found the Tomb of Annihilation yet. We just found 2 homebrewed dungeons along the way so far.
Alright, correction number 2. The gnomes are musicians, but also do practical effects, so that Tazium doesn't have to use illusions for everything, which keeps things surprising for the audience. Also, they're like my really annoying cousins who pull pranks that are almost harmful on me all the time.
Number 3, Zaid's second vision that Flynt could not remember was of being escorted by Bashaba into a high-stakes poker back room that had an unusual table that had blinders between the seats. But then Zaid saw them near the end, and it was a motley collection of odd individuals, a frost giant, a merchant prince, a red wizard, a lich, and a few others. Mystery.
This is number 4. This is a kata, by the way. The performance in Wakanga's garden was Bartus improving the carnival members telling the story of a village raised in a fire. That sounds sad. Okay. And the various tragedies that played out, each highlighted by the members of the carnival. Spark, Sputter, and Finesse were portraying the beauty and danger of the fire itself. Northek portrayed the solemn mourning after the fire, and Ray Ray and Horshan were lovers reuniting after the fire.
Wow, that was sad. Hey, it's Les. I'm here with number 5. The Rainbow Wave was right when we switched from Fantasy Grounds to Foundry, so 2 systems we were using online to host the game, and we had to remake some of the details locked up in the old version. So Yvonne's character, Edon, kept her character as is. It didn't change anything about her, but I think the rest of the players did.
Hey y'all, it's Quentin with number 6. Apparently it was Veggie Pygmies chasing Undro after the Rainbow Wave.
Alright, I guess it's Voltaire. I'm here with number 7. The random encounter that they encountered wasn't bats, it was sturges. They say it's way worse than bats.
What number are we on?
8.
Oh, thank you. All right, so it's Mirth. Number 8. It wasn't a pseudo-dragon. Apparently a different thing. My apologies. It was a fairy dragon. So I was right about the fairy part.
It's River back with number 9. Kayleen did have his first dream the same night as Finesse and Adon in the glade in the forest.
That's right.
With the big trees. But it was being late for an exam at his university in Lanton, and he made it to the library and opened a scroll that was blank but reflective like a mirror. Oh, Sounds awful.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, it's me. I'm here with number 10. Just a quick clarification, not a correction, I guess. Finesse's death was to a venom tail scorpion, which crit on a stinger attack, so the poison also crit, which meant that the stinger, since it entered right above the clavicle, essentially dissolved Finesse's lungs and heart. Oh my god.
It's the first scar I ever took.
Oh, good.
Akata again with number 11. The wee ones were the Chwinga. I don't know how to say that. Chwinga. Mirth saw them while everyone was hiding in a bush from a passing troop of zombie gorillans. These are all made up words. And apparently Mirth misspoke, or Flynt misspoke. Mirth's modifiers were negative, not the attribute.
Okay. It's me, Les, back with number 12. Onitha, Kayleen's wife, is actually a mastermind rogue who worked her way up in her profession in Kalimshan, which is where she and Kayleen first met. Cool.
Hey, squinting back with number 12.
I think it's 13.
Oh, 13?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't count.
It's okay.
So this one starts with actually. Mirth and Thaz are the ones who recruited Hugh Hackenstone for the guide hiring competition. He was there drinking at the tavern with the both of them after the night of the performance. And Orner almost got into a fight with another gnome, and Finesse resolved it and turned it into a drinking contest where Hugh tried to drink Mirth or Finesse and Thaz under the table, which is a hilarious image.
It's Voltaire back with 14. Bartis wanted to clarify that Musharib is an albino dwarf. That's fun. Suppose that makes sense. He'd spent all of his life underground, for the most part.
All right, this is 15.
That's right. This is the last one.
All right. Don't forget that the ghouls had the mark of Ras Nasi, the triangle on their forehead.
Oh, that's right. Mystery. All right. Well, this has been corrections. If there are more, we will read them next week, as there most certainly will be.
There certainly will be plenty more.
Okay, thanks for joining us.
And we're back.
We're back! So now we get to talk about the boat.
Yes.
Oh.
I hope that wasn't too confusing for everybody. It was kind of delightful for us to have characters across campaigns talk to each other.
Yes, we honestly just had a really great time doing that, so I think we'll have our little correction segment before these. And it's just fun to have all of them in one segment.
Yeah, so tell me, how do you feel about boats?
I'm fine with boats. So if for any of our listeners who don't like boats, turn off the episode.
No. Bart has found lots of cool things to do on the boat.
Yeah, because
that
we
weren't boat related.
Yes, so. Which you remember a lot more of those parts than I do. But we have lots of things happen on the boat and in other places, even though our bodies were still on the boat. So I think we ended last time saying that we got to the Brazen Pegasus. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
That's how Bart.
Why do you think I know?
And we have Captain Ordame is the captain, and her first mate is Grig Riddell. And then the crew that I can remember were named Prose, Finacer, Leo Serpentwind, who is hot old guy that I was in love with.
By old, she means in his late 50s or something.
Yeah, he wasn't that old. we have Skywalker, who's a Goliath,
Keys.
Keys, who's the Kenku that we mentioned last time, and then Nenerve. Those are the ones that I had written down. So I think
Yeah.
that's the whole crew. But we got like introduced to all of them and essentially like set off.
Yeah, and this boat, I'm sure Bartis is like, it was this kind of boat.
I know.
But this is a boat that was built for like some cargo, but mostly speed. So there wasn't
Yes.
really rooms for us to sleep in. We were sleeping below decks in kind of a group.
Yeah, like in the cargo hold, essentially.
Yeah.
We had hammocks
Yes.
and
Thanks, Adon.
yes, and there were like crates all around us and stuff.
Yeah, so we were essentially sleeping with the cargo.
Yeah, and then eventually, which we'll get to, like we would sleep inside of the tiny hut that Mirth cast when when Finesse got that spell.
Yeah. Not yet, though.
Not yet. So we got on there, we set off. Everybody was pretty nice.
Yeah, everybody was nice, and we essentially got it as the contract from the leader of the fort, right? So they work for her technically.
Yeah, and so their plan was always to drop us off, and then I think wait a certain amount of time, and then go back if we didn't
Yes.
come back.
Because our official orders, like I remembered this after we recorded last time, of course, but we were supposed to report back to Commander Porter about what was happening in Shilku Bay, what had happened to everybody, and report any like dungeons that were down there and any treasure that was found.
Yes.
And we were supposed to do that pretty quickly.
Yeah, it was like within a month.
Yeah.
Something like really
and
fast.
She definitely messaged Finesse several times over the course of the journey, and then also once we got there, Finesse was kind of harassed by her for a bit.
Yeah, and then like I remember at first I think you responded, and then you just like stopped responding, right?
I did.
Yeah, it's fine though.
I'm sure. Just like that Merchant Prince's son. It's all great.
Totally fine. We just don't know any of the ramifications, and we may never know.
Hey, consequences don't exist until they happen. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. So then we started on the boat having like just a regular D&D downtime system where it depends on your DM, but in general it's like you can choose what you want to do, and then we kind of do a summary of how that goes for you. And that might involve a roll, it might not. It might just be like a little RP scene to summarize what happens to you. And then basically we ended up finding out that everybody wanted to do a lot of things on this boat, and people were very interested in the crew. And then like Bartis would roll for random encounters and combats, and so it ended up like taking forever and a day. But I know at first I actually did write down like everybody's first downtime activity. Good for me. I took one note. I didn't understand how to take D&D notes until like a little later.
It's hard to figure out what's important until you've played for a while.
Yeah, so that's why some of my notes are like more spotty. I apologize. So a lot of the time on this boat, River focused on meditating and figuring out like what was inside of his core, like trying to see inside of there, trying to like push his energy out.
Yeah, he was basically playing with his key a lot, but didn't want to be around people because he wasn't used to being around people.
Yes, he was very introverted on this boat.
Yes,
and very nervous.
Yeah, and Finesse spent most of his time, so kind of divided a few ways. At first, it was same routine of get up, practice on the deck where he could. Because Finesse is like, even though he seems flaky because of his, his flaw, he's very dedicated, so he always practices every day when he wakes up. So he would practice, and then he would spend time with the crew, and we all learned or started to learn some of the professions that were on the boat.
Yes, we were kind of like apprenticing.
Yeah. I don't remember what I was learning, but
I don't have those written down.
but at night he would perform for the crew. Once it was down to like the skeleton shift, essentially.
Because they would always have like two people out there at night doing watch and making sure everything was okay, and then eventually we had people like out of our group doing watch downstairs.
Yeah, because of reasons that we will get into. But life didn't change too much for him at first. He did try to make friends with River and spend time up on, because he was the only person who could also climb up the mast and balance.
Yeah, I have some notes about specifically in a little bit like when that happened and something that happened for him about that.
Yeah. But yeah, I think he was struggling with the dreams and changes in personality and stuff that were occurring because of that. That we'll get into a little bit later.
Yeah, and I know that when we talk about like him and River spending time up there, like he was worried about his family and like feeling isolated and stuff.
Yeah, because he was used to seeing all of them every day, and at that point, like I said last time, he really thought that, especially with the last message from Tazium saying this isn't a safe way to communicate, that he was just kicked out. So, and this was, you have to remember, this boat trip took a long time.
Very long.
So he had already been gone more than like almost 2 weeks, which is the longest he's ever been gone. Honestly, once he had slept away, it was like the longest he'd ever been gone from the family. And then he has had no communication with them for over a week.
Yeah.
When they get on the boat.
Yep.
And then they're on the boat for what, 6 weeks?
I think it was like 3, but I don't know.
I can't remember.
It was not that long in game.
It was still pretty long in game, but like I don't think it wasn't a year like it was outside of
No. And then the things I had written down for other people's downtime is I know Adon was gathering and like fishing.
Yeah, she was learning. There was somebody on the boat that was helping her learn how to because Adon doesn't eat meat, so
yeah, and Mirth doesn't either. So we had like 2 vegetarians essentially, and then 3 other people who were fine with whatever. So I have notes later about like when Adon and River started cooking and stuff too. Very cute. But she was focusing on like that, making sure everybody was taken care of, supplementing the food that they had on the ship. Zaid was thinking about Timora, is the note that I had.
Yeah, I remember this was when he started to like, instead of, because he didn't have any luck to follow at that point, so he was actually starting to like probe a little bit at what is Timora and what is this new entity that I'm dealing with. And I know that he like also gambled with the crew at night and stuff.
Yes.
Like anywhere we go, just assume Zayd is gambling.
Yeah, assume that Mirth is performing, Zayd is gambling, Kayleen is making something.
Yes.
Right. And then Kayleen also talked to some different members of the crew and organized the hold of the ship.
Yes, so that we could actually fit better.
Yeah. And then I also have a note that Musharib was our guide was very seasick.
Poor Musharib.
Yes, indeed.
And then Undril was with us still too, right? At that point?
Yes.
So I know Undril was working out with Finesse some.
Okay.
Because they would sword fight, because she was trying to teach herself how to sword fight again.
That's right. Yeah, so we have like Musharib and Undril that we brought with us, and then the rest of the crew. So we were doing our downtime, and then that very first night, River had the first dream.
Was it the first night?
Yes, that's what I have written down. That it was the first dream about the hags.
Yes.
So, our first like
This is
antagonists that
this
follow
is like
us.
part of the BBEG, like the big bad end game bad guys. This was our first taste of them.
Yeah, and they've been with us like the whole campaign,
Oh
but we don't know who they work for yet.
no, they've heavily influenced a lot of like how magic has affected Mirth.
Yes, and what spells that he's taken, and so at this point we didn't know, but there are three of them. So this first one appears to a few people, which
Yes.
I have the
Do you remember her name?
I remember the second one's name is Peggy, but I don't remember the first one with the ants and the coins. I don't remember her name. Bardis will remember. So get ready for that correction. So River had the first dream. So unfortunate for me as a player.
Yeah, audience. Lena has a horrible phobia of ants,
Yeah, which I
debilitatingly so.
yeah. So I didn't know that I needed,
Much like me with my scorpions.
yeah, I didn't know that I needed to say that, which is, everything's totally fine about that in game. But basically River had a dream that ants were coming out of Captain Ordeme's eyes and ears.
I remember you were like listening and you heard Ortome talking about something like up on deck, and you went up to investigate, and Ortome was saying strange things, and then the ants started coming out of her eyes and her ears and shit.
And then she like turned around and like her eyes had coins. And then she bit me in the neck. And then I woke up and like couldn't move in like the hammock, and he was like covered in ants and had coins over his eyes. And that was where we ended the session.
I remember.
Which like sucked.
We were all yelling.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening?
So then the next session we woke up, and everybody who had healing like tried to heal because he was like bleeding out of his neck and stuff.
Yeah.
So they healed him, and we tried to figure out what was going on, and that's when we started. He told them everything that happened.
Yep.
Because I think he saw that hag when he woke up and couldn't move, and
Yeah,
she was vanished.
like over him.
Yeah.
Because so one of the things I think we should explain this up front,
Sure,
is that we didn't understand as players, is that so in this D&D universe there's multiple planes of existence. So there's like other planes where different kinds of creatures live. There's also like different kinds of magic or elements or things like that. And there's one called the ethereal plane, which is essentially like where you would see the equivalent of like a ghost. Like it's this kind of weird in between. And the hags were in the ethereal. They weren't in our plane. So they were having effects on us with like spells and things like that, or like in the world of dreams, the ethereal is, you kind of like are overlapping with the ethereal when you dream. It was very scary because none of us knew what was going on.
Yeah, because it's like a constant overlay over everything.
Yep. So
Which Mirth...
no, we'll get there.
Yeah. So then, from then on, like, we didn't know what was going on. We didn't know who this was.
We didn't know about the ethereal at this point.
Yeah.
But, like, we thought she had just somehow gotten magically onto the ship and then teleported away or something. So we started watches.
Yeah, we started watches. Kayleen set alarm spells, and things like that, so that we could try and, like, in case it happened again. So the next day, we did more, just assume we're doing more downtime activities. And then, like, that afternoon, I think Bardis rolled on the encounter table, and we had our first, like, combat on the boat, which was, like, a really big multiple session combat, because I have notes about it on different days.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know why it took that long, but
Well, it sounds like it was a lot of things.
Yeah, there were, like, pterodactyls, or I think they're terrafolk.
Yeah, okay, now that you said the terrafolk, now I remember the fight. But when you were talking about pterodactyls, I was like, I don't remember this.
Yeah, because they can like speak and stuff.
Yeah, they were actual like they're a kind of people.
Yeah. So there's terrafolk. There were like mer people that were kind of elvish that
And
were
then they
casters.
had sharks that like they could command.
There were hella sharks. Adon. I have a note that like Adon and River look over the side. There are many sharks.
And they had like a special weapon that they could command the ocean with and stuff, right?
Yes, they could like command.
And that armor. That's where I got that special armor that like one of us wore for a little while. Okay, I remember now.
Yeah, the mariner breastplate
yes.
that we gave to Zayd.
Yeah, Zayd wore for a long time.
Oh my god. Yes. See, I knew like once we like talked about this, we'd remember more stuff. Yes. So we had this like multi-session combat.
Because it was like in the air, on the boat, in the water, like it was crazy.
Yeah, I know. River was fighting like up in the fucking air with people.
Yes.
I have a lot of notes about getting healed. It was a really long battle, and it was stormy, and like the weather was bad, and a bunch of the crew were about to get fucking murdered. Like one of them was gonna get pulled over the side. The Goliath like went down a few times. I think Musharib. That was when.
Yes, that's the quote. We forgot the quotes from.
Oh, I can look them up. Yeah, we've got a few. Well, 'cause some of the quotes are for last session, and some were for like.
Way later.
Yeah,
but this is when it was like, and he's
and again he is conscious.
It's from Musharib.
It's about Musharib, and we have a good.
when we do the dome, we can talk about the one.
Sure. So, I'm just getting back to my other notes. Okay. So notable things that happened during this fight are. Kayleen hasted somebody he hasted River
for the first time.
But yeah, so
it's just evil. Hasting a monk is lit.
It's not evil. It's very good. River loves that spell. And then
it essentially allows, so he's faster. He gets an extra attack. He's got more like dex armor essentially. Your AC goes up because you're faster.
Yeah, it's your AC, your dex saves, extra action, and speed,
which is wicked on a monk.
Yeah, it's really cool. And then it's the first time Adon's bow staff changed. That Shaylin, her like magical weapon, changed form.
Oh, that's right.
In that fight. So
was it like a trident or something, or what? I don't
remember. I didn't have a note on what it was, but I think she was fighting with a staff, I think, and then maybe it turned into a bow then? I don't remember. Or the vice versa.
Yeah.
One of the two. I'm sure we'll get a correction on it. So those were like really notable things that happened during it. It was a really long fight. And then after, when everybody was like not dead, the storm was still happening, and then we saw that insane dragon turtle fight.
Yeah, there's a dragon turtle fighting this like leviathan tentacled creature. It was essentially like, one of those like monster movie type fights.
Like a kaiju fight?
Yeah, it was like a kaiju fight. It was crazy.
Yeah, and it was like really close to us.
Uh-huh.
And so that was like also happening, which was very stressful.
Yeah.
And then I had notes that one of the Terrafolk was still alive and told us that his name was Billy Joe Bob. And that he was a big liar and just trying to do something nefarious.
Yeah, he was essentially just trying to get out of it and get his lunch.
Take a dead body.
Yeah. He was like, please just give me a dead body and I'll go.
Yeah. So that was silly. And then Skywalker the Goliath, who like went down or was like very close to death. I don't know how.
River saved her life somehow.
Yeah. Don't remember how. But she was like, I owe you a life debt, and also gave him one of his favorite items that he has in the campaign, which is called it's Heward's Handy Spice Pouch. Mm-hmm. So it has like 10 charges each day, and you can think of whatever spice you want, and it'll like give you 10 pinches of, you can do combos.
Yeah.
But like, he used it for cooking all the time.
Yes, because I think Was it around this time or a little bit later that we started introducing domestic
It's a
magic?
few days. I have it on there. But like once we introduced our domestic magic system, he was like, spice pouch. So then we have where Finn received the message from Tazium.
Yeah, this is a different message from Tazium. So uh, Finn hadn't heard his voice in a long time because remember before it was Undril.
Mm-hmm.
But the fairy dragon that they met earlier um, showed up on the boat carrying three origami daggers that folded into like basically did like this really interesting like magical trick of folding into a letter, which is it was significant because one of the things that Tazium did when Finesse was younger, when he was really nervous, is that he would make, and it's also how he got his attention when he first picked him up, is that he would make these illusion magical daggers. And he taught him about like the secret messages and origami and stuff when he was really little. So
Oh,
yeah, it was supposed
that's
to.
so
I
sweet.
know. So the letter said, "Apologies for the delivery method. We needed to make sure it got to you. We are still safe. Everyone says hi. You are being watched." Um, and this at this point, um, he was also finding out that the carnival was in danger.
Mm-hmm.
And that they couldn't stay where they were either. But Finesse was still at this point being watched.
And Tazium wouldn't tell him who
No.
was watching him or like
He has
why.
no idea who, he has no idea why. But with the letter, the fairy dragon, I feel like his name is like Bartholomew or something like that.
It is something like that. I don't have it written down, but I am with you.
He delivered this tiny crystal that was from one of the dungeons. It was supposed to be very special. And we ended up calling it Prizzy. Because what it ended up being was the core of a dungeon itself.
Mm-hmm.
So when we activated it and we all attuned to it, we could go into it. And everyone in the carnival had also attuned to it. So they could go into this liminal space, essentially, and say hello.
Yeah. And I don't think we did it for a little bit. But I'm
No,
I'm
we
not
didn't.
sure.
We didn't touch it for a while, but that's essentially what happened. Is like once you touched it and attuned to it, you could concentrate and send your consciousness into this liminal space, kind of like virtual reality or whatever.
Yeah. So that was super cool.
But I think like he delivered it to us. I don't think we kept Prizzy. I think Prizzy went back with him. Maybe I can't remember.
Eventually, I think when we met up with the carnival again, we gave him back Prizzy, but Bartis will know.
Yeah. That's right. So around that time, we passed the port, so the entrance to the port, which is where we saw that dragon turtle fighting, I believe, because there is a dragon turtle that you have to pay money to get into the port.
Yeah.
Because they guard it. And there was skywriting above the port that said, "We love you, Finn, and we miss you very much," which was probably all we on be.
Uh-huh. Fully.
But at that point, because of the lack of information and being watched and not like, Finesse was just really confused and a little depressed at this point, and also really struggling with anger issues after that. Like there was a rage mechanic that I was dealing with because of the Rakshasa dream.
Yes.
Okay.
And then, like, I remember I had a note about between getting Prizzy and seeing the skywriting, Mirth was almost about to share some of, or sorry, Finn was about to share some of his backstory stuff with the group. And then the crew was like, come up here.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the skywriter.
Yeah, because I think Finn was about to tell them how he was found
Yeah.
and doesn't remember his childhood. And he doesn't have memories. Like it's literally like blank. He remembers being 7.
Yeah, and it was pretty shortly thereafter in my notes that I wrote those things down, because I think we kind of all, like, one day had, like, a group share time.
Because, yeah, we'd spent enough time together that it was like, we should be honest, right?
Yeah, like, I know you talked about what you just said, and then Kayleen talked about, like, fleeing from his guild in Lanton, and why he wasn't there anymore, and things like that.
I think Kayleen was trying to make Finesse feel better, and we were all sharing, because everybody's like, why aren't you happy about the skywriting? And it's hard to explain being in Finesse's head, but, like, there was something his whole life that made him feel like he was wrong. And so having Tazium treat him like he was a child and not tell him what's going on, kick him out, and, like, it just all felt very much like performative.
Mm-hmm.
And not telling him what was going on and who was watching him, it just he felt abandoned. And I think it was around that time that he decided to start trying to remember.
Yes. And I believe it was like the next day. But before that, he had his first hag dream. Which was not great for him.
Yeah, so we were, again, like, doing watches and sleeping in shifts and alarm. We had the alarm set up and everything, and it didn't go off, again, because they were in the ethereal. So Finn had a dream of something happening up on deck, and Ordime was torturing... How do you say his name again?
I think it's Finisare, one of the crew members.
One of the crew members. So, like, it was horrible, like, horribly torturing him, and Finesse tried to intervene, and she started torturing him instead. And then the ants showed up, and she transformed into the hag, and he realized it was a dream, but she hurt him quite a bit before he woke up, because he got tortured. I remember that.
Yeah, he got tortured and then also bitten in the neck.
Mm-hmm. And then woke up with the coins and all of that stuff.
Yeah, so then we were all, like, even more confused. And...
Well, because it didn't help. The alarm spell didn't go off. Nothing. Like, we felt really vulnerable and scared.
Yeah, because nobody could see anything. And then when you were asleep having the dream, you weren't moving. So nobody knew that you were getting hurt.
Yeah, so, because somebody was watching.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the next day is the first time that Finn climbs the mast and spends time with River.
Yeah, because I wrote down a thing that you said that you were just like, they won't let me be responsible for anything. Like, he was so frustrated.
Well, so here's the other thing is, like, so because of Mirth's and Finesse's memory problems, and being a kid, they raised him, right? He was treated a bit like a child. He was coddled quite a bit. And it wasn't out of, like, disrespect, or it was out of worry, because a lot of bad things had happened to him.
Yeah.
Whenever he was alone. And so one of the things that I left out of when he had... So the short story I wrote was called Tiny Town. Mm-hmm. But that small town where they played the up-down game with him, they didn't find him for hours. So he went to go get a drink. They found an excuse to be violent with him and made him go unconscious over and over and over again. They broke it, like, it's really bad. They broke his tail in a bunch of places. They drug him from the bar to the jail, and left him there, and it was cold and snowing, and he was just bleeding out, essentially. And they would give him just enough to be conscious and then beat him again, and then somebody assaulted him because he's very pretty. So somebody, of course, used their authority to assault him. And he was there for 6 hours, probably. But he just went in and out of consciousness, and Bartis told me later that Tazium and Weonvi came looking for him, found him in the state he was in, and he went into this fugue state, which is how they found him when he was little. Because for a long time, he wouldn't talk.
That's right.
When he was really little, he didn't say anything. He didn't really seem to understand most things, and was just doing things mechanically. And he kind of went back into that trauma state of not talking for a long time. And it wasn't until the day that he met Thaz that he actually performed again, which was like months later. But Tazium apparently went back and killed everybody in that town because, yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, good.
But so because of these like incidents of Finn having like trauma, he has PTSD. That's what I wrote him with PTSD. The carnival treated him with kid gloves, so to speak. They didn't want him to be too stressed, ever.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, as he got older and became an adult, that never translated to allowing him to be a whole person. So they never gave him responsibility, or held him accountable for things, or made him feel like he was reliable in any way, or he could be depended on. So that's really what he was struggling with the whole time, was not only do they not want me there, they don't trust me. They don't trust me enough. Like, I'm not trustworthy. I'm not reliable. I'm just broken. And that's all I'll ever be, is really what he was struggling with at that point. And because of the Rakshasa dreams, he was also, in addition to this, becoming unreliable in his temperament.
Yes.
Because when he would get upset, there was a fiendish influence that was making him rage. It's essentially rage. And that's what he was asking River for help with.
Yeah, and so I know that River talked a lot about, like, the visualization kind of techniques that he does, and, you know, like how feeling all those emotions is okay, but to try and just let them pass kind of through you, right? Mm-hmm. And so they meditate, because they can both balance up there, because they're both very dexterous. And
he had such a hard time meditating up there. Mirth can't be still.
Mm-hmm.
It's not possible. It's part of why, like, everything he does is moving.
Yeah, so I think, like, they tried that, and Mirth was, like, getting somewhere with it, and then he was like, I am gonna try doing this when I'm doing my forms. And he created a new
new flourish for myself, called the Calm Center Flourish, which allows me to have bonus, like, a advantage on wisdom saves and things like that. So,
I totally forgot that happened.
So yeah, that literally, like, he doesn't have the rage problem anymore, because all he does is his Calm Flourish whenever it happens. And so thanks, River.
Hey, no problem.
So, like, that was really interesting, because I thought that was going to be a problem for, like, a long time. And then River just helped him solve it, and so he could work on other things.
Yeah, because I think, like, something that we didn't really get into in the campaign, but as we've talked about, like, our books and stuff, like, River has a lot of anger problems, too. Mm-hmm. And so I think, like, he was exactly the right person to try and help with that.
Also very similar age.
Yes.
And, like, one of the things that I loved about playing Finesse is that Finesse just loves people. He's terrified of them, but he also loves them very much, much like myself. Um, and so like he just really cared about River and wanted River to feel safe. And that was part of why he was up there with him. Was like, you don't have to isolate yourself from us. And I do have an interest in you and I want to get to know you. I don't just need things from you, right? Um, and really tried to coax out of River, like, what do you want? What is it that you need from us, right? And I love that about him because he's just like, no matter who he's talking to, he's like, you're just a person and you're just doing your best, right?
Just like me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that was like when they first started to become friends, which was really cool. And then we had Dawn had a dream about the hags. And so she tried to fight them, as is her way. And I had a note that I didn't quite understand. That there was a black onyx heart that the hag like took.
Yeah, it was on her belt, and we noticed that she grabbed it before she disappeared.
Thank you. So it's like her plane shift object, essentially. Okay. Cool. See, I knew that if I wrote down the weird half sentences that I typed or wrote in my journal, that you would understand. Great. So we had more clues. So I had all these notes about like, what are we gonna do if she gets here? Like Kayleen was like, River, can you like grab her? Like Mirth, can you do this? Like all of this stuff. We had so many plans that like nothing worked.
No.
Every time nothing worked. So that happened. More downtime. Assume more meditation, more crafting. We're almost at the domestic magic stuff. But first, we got to that like young dragon turtle carcass.
There was like a juvenile dragon turtle carcass.
Yeah, and it was like off course, but Kayleen was like, Kayleen and Adon were both like, I really want to go.
Yeah, so we convinced the captain to go over there and started trying to harvest from it, which was really hard.
It was so hard.
I think like one of us almost drowned or something.
Yes, it was like horrendous.
I'm pretty sure it was me.
I feel like that's... You probably almost drowned trying to save somebody who fell in. So we were struggling and thought we were going to be there for like hours and hours. But then this like beautiful Aarakocra flew over. Kusark!
Which is, they're like people who are like birds.
Yes.
Bird people.
I know they speak Oran, which is like the bird language.
But they're actually like, think a humanoid bird.
Yeah, kind of like Travis's character in CR's Calamity.
Or if you've seen the D&D movie, Jarnathan.
Yes! Perfect. Exactly. But he had beautiful coloration. His feathers were like purple and yellow and white and green. Gorgeous. Like you drew his feather, I remember.
Oh, Finesse was
say it.
He was gagged. Like he was absolutely like floored by how beautiful this man was. And he's very gay. So he like wanted nothing more than to dance with him. And so you can
get to that part. I got you. So Kusar came over. He spoke Oran, bird language that nobody else spoke, Chultan, which only River speaks, because River's from Chult, the peninsula and stuff that they're on. And I think that was it. And so River was talking to him and trying to translate for everybody and was like, hey, we're just trying to harvest stuff. And I think he was there with a few other of his cohort. And so they were like, let us help you. We also need some stuff from this carcass, if possible.
Yeah, so we agreed to share, essentially.
Yes, and it took almost no time because we were like doing it with them. And I think the only thing that they actually wanted is called a plastrum, which I think is like part of the steam vent thing.
Yes.
So we gave that to them because they needed it for like a some kind of ritual or rite that they did. And they let us keep pretty much we got like everything that Kayleen and Adon wanted, like blood and steam.
Parts of the shell.
Yes,
Very important. Those parts of the shell are very important.
Yes, they are. And we invited them to come back to the boat, and then Kusark like cast something on himself so he could actually speak common at that point.
No, you translated.
No, I wrote that translated, but then I wrote that like he or somebody else cast comprehend like languages.
Right. But like I distinctly remember. So before he cast that, Mirth said something like a beautiful, almost poetic, like beseeching of like, "You're one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen," and like was very very Mirth, very like very finesse, very complimentary, very flirtatious, very like it really was poetry. And River had a really hard time translating because Finesse talks really fast, and so like he translated most of it and then he cast it and was like, "It would be my honor."
That's right. Yeah, because like I think the translation from like Common to Chultan is like, it's not like translating even English to like Spanish or French, like another Romance language. It's like very different. So he was just like, "Oh my god, like how do I do this?"
But he basically was like, "I would love to," because they almost danced the way that they moved. It was like dancing, and so he was like, "Can I please learn like your dance or dance with you?" And they did an like improv dance with each other, and honestly it was one like very core memory for me because Bardis described it beautifully.
It was a beautiful dance.
Yeah, and it was one of those moments where it was like Finesse was just so happy because that's what he was made to do, like was beautiful things like that. And so he loved the dance so much, Kusark loved the dance so much that he gave Mirth a feather. Just one.
Yeah, and you drew it in your notebook, right? Because it's gorgeous.
Well, it's also that's what your earrings are made out of.
And speaking of crafting, this is when we because I think that was like the end of a session.
Yes.
And then like the next session we talked about our new domestic magic system.
Yes.
And all chose our professions and stuff.
So for the domestic magic system, it's a Kickstarter that I backed called Witch Plus Craft.
Yes, the editor-in-chief is Shannon Campbell, and the gameplay heads are Damon Hines and Dylan McPherson, and then there are many other people credited for other parts of the book.
But essentially, the idea is that there is magic in the everyday things that we do, like cooking or sewing or woodworking or, metalworking and things like that, so that there would be magic in the world that isn't, fireball, essentially.
Yes, that's like benign, I guess.
Yeah, mundane.
Yeah, mundane, that's a better word. So we have that system, and then also the Tome of Mystical Tattoos that you sent to everybody as well.
Yes.
Was that another Kickstarter that you backed? Mm-hmm. And that's by Carl Nicholas.
Yeah.
So we used both of those quite a bit in this campaign.
Yes, we did. Eventually, Mirth will get his tattoo.
Mm-hmm. So
because he's learning tattooing.
Yes, that's right.
So we all chose like our professions and stuff like that.
Yeah, you have to choose like a lot of things per level
because it's its own. It's like a 5e supplement. It's its own system. Right?
Yeah, and it's very complicated. It's very cool.
So you could just play in a world where there's only domestic magic, which is really fun.
That would be really cool.
But that's what the book is for.
Yeah. So that's when we all started crafting some different things that because the way that Bardis integrated it was that using this system made crafting much faster than just the regular D&D based crafting.
Right, but we still had to do downtime and all kinds of things, and you can like sacrifice objects that are meaningful to you and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
We
and
made so many items with this.
the sacrifice in particular, as well as like how many people worked on the project, made it go faster or slower. But it was ultimately much faster than like anything Kayleen was crafting with regular D&D crafting rules.
Yes, because at this point, Zaid was still in metal armor, which was a problem because it was so hot. So he was taking like big disadvantages on stuff. And Musharib wore this heavy armor that was made for the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the biggest projects we did at that time was make Zaid armor.
Yeah, it was mostly you and Kayleen, right?
Yes. I think we all tried to help because you guys would make food.
Yeah, the first note I have is me, Adon, and River making bomb-ass food.
Yeah, you guys would make food that would give us bonuses, but I essentially created Mirth as a designer. So he has this ability to remember, it kind of goes hand in hand with his ability to like pick up skills, is he can remember anything, any design he's seen.
Mm.
He can't remember his life, but he can remember any design or dance or anything like that he's seen, and recreate it. So he was, along with Kayleen's expertise in the things that like an artificer could do.
Yeah.
We made some really cool armor called Found Fortune, right?
Yes.
For Z.
Yeah. And I think Zaid also helped because he had all the jewelry and metalworking.
Yes, he did all the metalworking
things.
Stuff. Mm-hmm. So he's the one, he helped later when Mirth does his name day. Mm-hmm. He helped create the earrings that everybody wears.
Yes.
But some other honorable mentions at this point would also be the mini-handed pouches that Kayleen made, where we could all share an inventory. Pretty sweet.
In a bag of holding.
Uh-huh. So it's like a bag of holding that was split amongst us. It was really interesting.
And you sacrificed something for that armor, right?
Yeah. His armor.
Finn's armor?
Mm-hmm. Finn only brought he has so few possessions, but he brought his fire dancer armor, which was one of his favorites that was like portable. His favorite is a peacock costume he made, but that is not portable.
No.
But he brought that with him, and like slowly over this journey he picked it apart using like the thread and the armor itself and the clasps and like all kinds of things to help create updated armor to keep everybody safe.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like really good armor. It was a costume, you know?
Yeah, but it was still very important to him.
It was. It was the first costume he ever made himself. Like completely on his own.
He's a sweet boy.
He is a very sweet boy.
So that's our that's when we started using domestic magic on this boat, and we did it. We're still using it.
Oh yeah.
Like it is a big continuation. It's like probably the biggest like supplemental book that we use.
It's so interesting because everybody can get involved for different reasons and can help in different ways. And I don't know. I just 10 out of 10. Like, highly recommend either using it on its own or using it as a supplement to your game. Like, in the books that we write, domestic magic just exists. We call it like different things, but that mundane ability to do things, I think it's just as a concept, like it should be there. Yes. Why would there be large magic if there wasn't everyday magic?
Yeah.
I just love it.
It's a good bridge. Mm-hmm. And again, it's called Witch plus Craft, like with the plus sign.
Yes.
So we've got that in there, and then Zaid has a dream. And his was about the captain killing all of us. Mm-hmm. And none of the alarms went off, anything.
Yeah.
And then he got like a level of exhaustion.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to like defend himself and stuff. And then that, I think, was when you got the tiny hut spell.
Yes. So I think we leveled up from all of the domestic magic stuff we'd done, and because all of us had experienced the hags. And Finesse was desperate for a way for everyone to be protected. I mean, that's honestly like his whole personality.
It's his MO for sure.
Like, that's all he cares about is everyone being protected and being okay. And so I work on all his spells because Bardis introduced us to this idea of like, what does that look like for you? Right? Because not everybody casts things the same way. And so I worked on the idea behind all my big spells quite a bit. And this one was essentially L acts as the center, so the sword acts as the center. And it vibrates because all of his stuff is at this point he thinks sound based.
Yes.
We'll find out later if that's actually true. But it vibrates and very gently plays a song that was the lullaby Weonvi used to sing to him when he was upset. So the whole thing very gently plays a lullaby all night, with the sword sitting on its tip at the middle, vibrating, producing basically this like force of protection.
Yeah, so I think I had written down that was like level 6. You got to level 6?
I think so.
Something like that.
But that was the first time that we were actually protected from the hags. It was the first night that they couldn't get to us, I think, right?
Yeah, and we all had to stay in a little 3x3 square little dome. Like it's like a 15-foot diameter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Little half circle. So we stayed in there, and then the next, I have like kind of sparse notes the next section, but it's because we were doing more downtime. Everybody was kind of doing similar.
Because we started using the liminal space.
Is that why? Okay. Well, the things, before we talk about the liminal space, the other things I have written down are that we got Musharib to help us decipher the journal that River found off one of the Tabaxi merchants in the jungle before they got on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
And so we found a map to Omu, which is his family's like ancestral home, and it's like the lost city and all this stuff. Yes. And he said that he would help us get there if we can help him get home and like save his clan.
To Rakamar.
Yeah, because there's like a dragon down there, he said. And then River had another dream about the hags.
Yes.
And it was very foggy. He like went up on the top of the ship and could see that one of them was up there and like fought her, and it was a different one. Mm-hmm. It was the first time and this one's name was Peggy.
Yes, it's Pegleg and a teeth necklace. And the teeth like laughed or something?
So the teeth, when you like smash them, they sound like the screams of children.
Oh, Jesus.
Just horrifying.
But she couldn't hurt you, right? I can't remember.
She just kept evading me. And she emitted this like yellow noxious gas.
That's right.
It was some bullshit.
So that's how we found out that the tiny hut didn't protect us from that.
They just left us alone for a day.
Yeah.
So that was great.
Because technically the tiny hut does not protect you from the ground.
Yes.
It only protects you from like the outside worlds above ground. But we should say, when we were texting out the tiny hut, the first time that he cast it and trying to understand how it worked, we were like, I wonder if you could do attacks or something out of it. And one of the things I haven't mentioned is one of the things that Mirth wears is a bandolier, essentially, that has a bunch of daggers in it that Thaz gave to him as a gift after he found out about what happened in the tiny town, because he didn't find out for many years what happened. And he was just like, why are you so, like, why do you dress up as a human when you go out? It doesn't make any sense. And somebody finally told him, so he had it like custom made, this bandolier of daggers, because Mirth can also throw knives, just not as well as Thaz.
Not for performance necessarily. Like he could do it for
He can do it like mechanically. He can dexterous enough and is practiced with him and stuff, but he can't throw them. Thaz is like almost supernaturally good at it. But he took a dagger out and threw it at the tiny hut, which, if you know anything about the tiny hut's force field properties, it bounced off. It bounced off, and I rolled really badly. So it hit Kayleen in the shoulder. And Kayleen said, Mirth, your heart is in the right place, but your dagger is not. Which is still one of my favorite quotes from it.
It's so good. That, and you're one of the 12 things I'm constantly thinking about.
Yep.
So, 2 more big things before we talk about going into Prizzy, into the liminal space, because that like kind of spans a lot of the time on the boat.
We spend a lot of time in there.
Yeah, so it was in between liminal space things, but we absolutely demolished a pirate ship called the Dragon's Fang.
That was trying to attack us.
Yeah, they were trying to attack us, but we were like, we ain't parlaying with y'all. You're going down.
Yeah, because, okay, so several things happened. One, I know I just shattered parts of their ship.
Yes, you did. You like got in the water and swam and cast shatter at parts of their
how
ship.
far away are they? Okay, hold on. I'm going to dive in. And then you got increased in size.
Yeah, enlarge. It was the enlarge reduce spell, but
you caught their fucking like
a ballista
bolts.
Yeah.
With your monk ability of catching arrows, and you threw it back at them.
Yep. It was like the one time I've gotten to do that in this campaign. And it was fantastic. And then I threw Zayd over there.
Yes, you literally threw a dwarf.
I just yeeted Zayd, or a halfling.
Or a halfling, excuse me. You
even
literally
smaller.
You literally yeeted a halfling.
Literally.
Sorry, I don't know why I said dwarf. You literally...
He's got a beard.
Yeeted a halfling over there, and then he smote the shit out of them.
Out of the caster. And stuff.
Because the caster was the one who was fucking us up.
Yeah. Dawn was shooting shit from hella far away.
Yep.
And Kayleen was casting shit on me.
But I think I was one of the first ones to get on the boat.
Yes.
Outside of Zayd, because I swam over there. And we were all exploring different parts of it after, like, they were done. Done. Yeah, they were just demolished. And we found like a treasure room or whatever, and I found a bag of holding? Question mark. And I'm pretty damn sure Kayleen was like, well, you can just reach into it and like turn it inside out.
Yes.
And I reached into it, and it reached back.
Because it was a bag of devouring. And then we had to pull Mirth out of the bag.
Yes, I was literally getting pulled into the bag, and I was half a turn away from being put into the astral plane.
Yeah, that would have sucked.
Yeah, very different campaign.
Yes. So that happened. Everybody either was killed or swam away.
Yep. People made it to shore, and we did not chase them.
No, and then, like, we just fucked the ship enough that it was just sinking.
Yes.
So I think we got some of the treasure off, because we got a lot of money.
We were on, like, we got hella money, and some items, but, like, we were on a...
turn timer?
Yeah. It was like a countdown, because it was sinking.
Yeah, because it was on fire and sinking.
Yes, on fire and sinking.
So we got, like, what we could off of it, but that was, like, a huge thing that happened.
Mm-hmm.
I took the flag, I don't know why, in case it was important, in case we needed evidence.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing that I have on here I don't remember exactly when it happened. Oh, don't look at me like that. Is that River had the start of his dark arc.
Yeah, buddy.
Because there's like 9 beast lords who used to rule over Omu.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is an Eblis. It's like a big crane
Yeah.
kind of looking form, and his name is Papazotl. And so they can take the form of a beast or like a humanoid.
Yeah, and that Raz Nasi, was he another one, or was he like related to those?
No, he is let me look. I don't think he's a beast lord. He's a Bare. So those are different. They're like the chosen of Ubteo, who is like the god that like made and like ruled over that city.
Yeah, and the Beast Lords were like his enemies.
I think so. So I'm sure Bartis will correct us.
Papazotl.
Yes, so Papazotl was like possessing Keys, the Kenku, the whole time. And because I have all these notes that like Keys is acting weird and like talking to themselves.
And one of the things that we got off of the other ship was a small chest. This is important.
Yes.
Because you found an item on the other, like... So one of the things we got was a small chest, and we had it down in the cargo hold with our other stuff because we wanted to investigate it first. And then you started talking to Papazotl.
Mm-hmm. And he was like, I want to go to the same place you want to go. I need to go to Omu. Like, my body's there. Can you, like, take me back to my body?
Mm-hmm. But
like,
he also was like, I need you to open this chest.
Yeah, and he was like, you can do it. You're more powerful than your friends.
Yeah,
show them.
You're more powerful than they are. Show them, right? Because so nobody else could see it. And then, but by this point, Finn was friends with River and was like, what are you doing? And that was the first time I used Dimension Door.
Yes.
Because you are faster than me. And you ran down there, and we didn't know what was in the chest. And because we hadn't, like, looked into it yet. And, I Dimension Doored, and, like, we occupied the same space, and you, like, hurt me.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to stop you from doing whatever you were doing. It didn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm. So, because I got, like, an amulet from him. Mm-hmm. And I put it on, it was like, oh, the buff was, like, so good. His con was, like, a 19.
Was it, though?
I mean, now I understand that it wasn't. But then I thought it was. Yeah. I know.
Mirth was very concerned, and all Papazotl did was insult Mirth's intelligence and called him a clown?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And River was like, no, he isn't.
Like a jester?
And he was like, no, he's not.
He's not a warrior, blah, 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 blah. And so, like, Mirth would just be talking to him, and Papazotl would be, like, absolutely decimating Vanessa's personality while he was, like, just talking to him about something totally normal. And I wish we had, like, a comic or a cartoon or something of it, because it...
Yeah, so that... he latched himself onto River, and so he's with River for a long time. But let's talk about the liminal space.
Well, I will say, Finn saw him really quickly.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Finn was the first one to see him.
Yes, remember? I totally forgot about that.
I'm the first one to see it. Everyone's gods. That's apparently my job. Because,
was that
again,
the first?
It was the Yes. It was because the hags were really freaking us all out, and the hut didn't work. So another spell that Finesse took was see invisibility, which allows you to see into the ethereal plane. And so he was watching for the hags at that point and saw this bird whispering in River's ear and made direct eye contact with it, and it was like, well, hello, who are you? And then it turned into like a warrior that looked at him with seething hatred, and was very scary.
Very scary.
Yeah, Papazotl ain't no joke.
It's okay. We have a great end to that story arc at some point. Maybe next episode, question mark? Maybe the one after?
So, liminal space combats. Yay. So, we eventually actually, like, figured out how Prezi works, and got an invite into the liminal space. And essentially, it was like this almost like childlike consciousness
Mm.
that was willing to make the, you know, AI space look however artificial reality space look however we wanted it to,
Pretty much.
and create combats or even like places for us to talk. So we had our first combat in there. And one of the really fun things that Bardis did, because Bardis created these like beautiful dungeons, and just like there were lighting effects and like all this, it was
So
amazing,
cool.
amazing. But they also turned on this like modifier, like name modifier,
Oh
where
my god. They would give every enemy an adjective, a
yes,
randomized adjective. This is my favorite thing about
so
Foundry.
it could one. Oh my god, it was so good though.
Yeah, so that do you want me to say the two very memorable
Yes.
names?
Yes.
So I don't remember what kind of enemy it was, but there was one enemy who got the adjective neckbeard. So
Yes.
when they died, Bardis was like, and with a neckbeard cry. Which is so stupid. And then the other one I always remember is it was like racist
Yes.
something.
It
And
was a racist.
and Bardis would characterize all of them with their adjectives.
So that it just really made everything so alive because
Yes.
everybody, oh my god. And like there were some people who were like lazy, and he like Bardis would actually have that affect the way that they had their turn.
Exactly. Or there would be ones that were like hella angry and stuff. And like
So good.
it was great. And the racist one was like super mean.
And would only go after like me.
the two cat boys.
Yeah, that was, oh god.
It was so, those names were so funny. And it made combat so much fun.
But what was interesting was like there were combats, but there were also like puzzles
Yes.
where we would try to like solve. It took us a long time to find out, but essentially all the dungeons that were randomly appearing had cores like this.
Yes.
So they it was creating the dungeon experiences that we would have been getting had we stayed in the jungle.
Yeah, had we actually gone on the path we were supposed to go on. But
Very clever Bardis. So cool.
it was so cool. And like there were some rewards that we got in there that we actually got to remove from the dungeons too, because some of them would disappear when we left. But like that's how I got my lightsaber, isn't it?
I believe so.
I think it is. Because there was that one big puzzle with the different lists of possible things in different corners of the room, and that was one of the things we chose. It's a sword hilt that River can like push his key out into to like basically make a lightsaber. So fucking cool. I think that's where we got it. Bardis will correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, so next I think is when Finesse started to try actively to remember things and started kind of meditating a little bit with River about it, and talking with Keeleen about it. And this is when, around this time, the nightmare that he had where he was running through the streets, it was a recurring nightmare that he'd had a bunch of times, from the Rakshasa that I mentioned in the previous episode. But it started to fill out a little bit, and there started to be somebody with him. There was another child with him that he knew that he loved and that was smiling at him, and they were playing and running through the alleyways of Waterdeep. And this memory or dream started to like expand a little bit, and we're a little fuzzy on like exactly when, but he started to remember that this is a friend from his childhood named Core, who was taken by a Rakshasa that seemed to know who Finesse was. And that was around, like, that was pretty much the beginning of those dreams. Um, but we also figured out that with Prizzy, anybody who had connected with it could meet. So um, Finesse got to see his family in the artificial reality space.
Yeah.
And this is when he found out that, like, Weonvi and Ray Ray knew nothing about sending, about, like, him dying and, like, being sent out, and that Tazian wasn't sharing a bunch of details with a bunch of people. He knew that he was still being watched by someone, and that now his family was also on the move and in trouble because
Yes.
they couldn't spend a lot of time with him in this space because they were out in the jungle fighting, which is not what his family does. So they were also training up. But really fun thing that happened in that space is everybody got to meet Elle.
That's right.
Because up until this point, everyone thought Finesse was crazy and was just talking to himself / his sword. But Elle had started appearing to Finesse, like to Finn, as a really beautiful androgynous elf, I believe, who was queer as fuck, y'all, and wore all kinds of beautiful, like, jewelry or like hot pants or like lots of makeup, or like it was just like this person that Finesse was like, wow, you're beautiful and cool and you get me.
They were just having fun. They
Uh-huh.
were like, I am happy to be alive and in this body.
So of course, like, everybody was like, what are you talking about? Right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the liminal space, because Elle's consciousness was kind of linked with Finesse's consciousness because of the bond with the sword, Finn brought him with him.
Yep, he just was there.
And so he was just there, and he just started talking, and everybody's like, who the fuck are you? I was like, this is Ella, everybody. I don't know you could see him. This is great.
Oh, it all makes sense now.
Yeah, so that was like the first time that everybody believed him, which was sad that it took that long, but that was a neat, like, I guess, side effect or bonus from the liminal space.
Yeah. And also extra shout out to the liminal space. We fought a beholder, which is like us, if you don't know, like a super classic D&D monster. It's on like a bunch of the book covers and stuff like that.
It's like a giant floating eye with a big mouth that has a bunch of like tentacles with extra eyes on it that all have, it's really gnarly. It has magical beams that do horrible things.
Yeah, they have 8 different beams.
And that large eye is an anti-magic field.
Yeah, it's like a cone of anti-magic. But they have like a freaking death beam that people got shot with.
Like a necrotic. Yeah.
They're
They're gnarly. They're so fun though once you're like high enough level to fight them. But we leveled up a lot in the liminal space.
I believe we came off the boat, but like around level 8, which is crazy.
Because I couldn't yet cast Mansion.
No, that took another hot minute, I think. And we got to like, I know 10 or 12. I know where the 10 or 12 marker is. So I think it's about level 8 is what we came off the boat at, somewhere 8 or 9.
So we got to Shilku Bay, but one of the cool things was like the whole time since we had gotten the Dragon Turtle stuff, Kayleen was working on a big project that he was very excited about.
Yes.
And because of domestic magic, Finesse got to help him finish the project. And we did so well.
Yes.
And so badly at the same time.
The boons and flaws, they were real.
The boons, and because there's this mechanic called boons and flaws, and it depends on how you roll. But like we got like the best we could get and the worst we could get. So he created this giant like turtle.
So I think it was a tortoise.
Like a tortoise that he could sit on its back and still craft.
Yeah.
and it had like a bunch of storage capacity and everything else, and like it was very stable. But we wanted to create camouflage for it because we couldn't always bring him with us, and that was like where finesse came in and helped, right? But we did so well and so badly that Bob, who is the name of the turtle, has perfect camouflage. Which sounds good, but it also means we can't find him. So he has to wear like a little leash.
Yeah. This is so cute.
Oh, but we've lost him so many times.
Yeah, but we have him.
We still have him, but we definitely lost track of him so many times.
And he counts as a construct.
Yes.
So he doesn't count as like an extra person to teleport, I don't think. Or does he?
He takes up a slot.
He does because he is, that's right, because he is a construct.
Yeah, he takes up a slot.
Everything else Kayleen has is...
does not.
Yeah, because it's a homunculus or a, just another, like part of the Lantern Artificer tool set, essentially.
Yep.
Is what they count as. But Bob is an entire slot for teleport.
We landed in Shilku Bay and let Commander Porter know.
Yes, we did. We were good.
And it was like burned.
The volcano was like erupting.
Yeah, there was an active erupting volcano that was supposed to be dormant that had like burned this entire like outpost.
Yeah, the whole town.
And there was a bunch of fire creatures everywhere. Mm-hmm. Which is not a problem for me. But fire resistance. That was the other thing we did on the boat was we at least upgraded everybody's armor or something to have fire resistance.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
So that they wouldn't suffer the consequences of the jungle heat exhaustion.
That's right.
Because I was the only one who didn't have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
that's why we used my fire dancer costume.
I remember this now. This makes sense.
Because it was fire resistant.
Of course. So we got there. Everything was exploding. I think we just told the boat to go back. If I remember correctly. We just told them, like...
I do not recall.
I think Bartz will correct us. I think we told them, like... Because we knew we were going to take Musharib to where he wanted to go.
We decided to go to Krakamar first.
Yes, and then we were going to try and go to Omu and many, like, other things. But we basically told them, like... We will find another way back if you want to leave, I think.
Yeah, and we've also found out along the way that they did not like Commander Porter either.
Yeah.
Commander Porter was like blackmailing them or something.
Yes. So we were like, do whatever you want.
Yeah, we were like, yeah, you can say whatever you want. But we also, one of the things we forgot to mention is that we got that interesting treasure point from Old Hot Guy.
From Leo?
Yeah. Remember he told us like the story about like where this treasure is on the other side of the island?
Oh yeah.
We got so many side quests that we haven't done.
No, we certainly have not. Yeah, so Leo gave us side quests. I think all of the crew members potentially had side quests we could find out about, but we like didn't, which, you know, whatever. We had enough anyway.
Yeah. We had a lot going on.
So we were gonna go do Musharib's first, and that's kind of what we decided to start doing, but I think we'll get into that next episode about what happens after the boat.
Yes. We got through the boat in one episode. I'm really proud of us. I know we forgot so much because so much happened. There was a lot of like really meaty like character stuff.
Yes.
That happened. Like, I can't wait till we get into this Papazato bullshit.
I know it's like it's a lot. But I'm sure we'll have a lot of fun corrections.
Yes.
So get ready for another really great corrections segment.
Yeah, and if you guys want more clarification for us to talk about the corrections a bit more in context, we're happy to do that.
Yeah.
Just let us know what you guys think. This has been a really fun trip down memory lane for me. Mm-hmm. There's so much that I remembered in my heart, but not my head, you know? Yeah. So.
And I'm just excited to, you know, we'll have it and then we can listen to it whenever we want.
Uh-huh.
So.
Makes me miss the game, though. I miss it so much.
I know. I think we all miss it.
But, yeah, so join us next time for the continuation of the Tale of the Dragon Stunners.
And you're going to find out why we have our name.
Yes, next time we will get to how we got our name.
Yeah, it'll be great.
We'll be back talking about what we're going to talk about a little bit next week. But first,
a word from our characters. Love the show? Of course you do. Want to learn more? I mean, who wouldn't? Well, you've come to the right bard. This is Mercutia's Market with your host, me, Mercutia Claudius Titania Banquo Ulysses Falstaff. And yes, I did make the name myself. If you have questions for your wonderful hosts, or me, or anyone else you've heard on the podcast, but mostly me, email us at queerdicerolls, that's ROLES, at Obroris, that's OBRORIS, archives.com. If you wish, you can send these poor, tired queers the funds for their iced oat lattes through our Ko-fi, Queer Dice Rolls. Be sure to follow us on all your favorite platforms. If you'd like to peruse these or any other links, check out our link tree. This week, we want to thank Bartus for having an amazing steel trap of a mind. You're gorgeous, and we love you. That's all for now, but I'll be back next week. Ta-ta! You've been listening to Queer Dice Rolls with Flynt and Lena.
Do you have any favorite quotes from your campaigns, or use any fun supplemental systems or homebrews?
Don't forget to send us a message on Instagram or Buzzsprout. We'd love to hear from you.
The two of us will be back next week with a continuing tale of the Dragonstunners.
But until then, take this inspiration die, just in case.
Bye, y'all.